The unique Rode Wireless Go 2 allows for easy-to-mic wireless recording on the go, and works with cameras, smartphones, and tablets. Rode's second-generation portable wireless mic system, the Go Wireless 2, $299, is aimed at podcasters, reporters, vloggers and anyone else who needs to gather quality audio in the field, but doesn't want to deal with the hassles associated with wired microphones. It includes two transmitter mics and a receiver that can commit audio to its own memory, or plug into a camera to sidestep the so-so built-in mix you get with most consumer models. We found the system useful and easy to operate in testing, though it could be easier to fine-tune the gain levels on the go. Our gripes are minor and the positives here far outweigh the negatives, making this a strong option for creators searching for a wireless mix system. The Wireless Go 2 consists of three main parts: two transmitter mics that clip onto a shirt or jacket with ease, and the receiver that connects to either an interchangeable lens camera, via 3.5mm cable, or a smartphone or tablet. The TX transmitters are tiny, measuring roughly 1.7 by 1.8 by 0.7 inches, HWD, and weighing about 1.1 ounce. The RX receiver is also by its size, about the same as one of the transmitters. The transmitters house omnidirectional transducers that record a frequency range of 50 Hz to 20 kHz. They work within a range of roughly 200 meters/653 feet to the receiver out in the open, but walls and doors can block the signal. Two LEDs along the upper side panels of the transmitters display link and charging, battery life status. Next to them, a tiny grill protects the omnidirectional diaphragm beneath it, with a 3.5mm connection for lavalier mix next to that. The right side panel houses a USB-C port for the included charging cables, and the back panel has a clip for mounting the mic onto clothing. On the lower side panel, a button marked with the O from the Rode logo acts as the power button with a long press or a mute switch with a short press. The transmitters use Series 4 2.4 GHz digital transmission with 128-bit encryption designed to work well in areas with dense or rough activity like malls and offices. We experienced no dropout or interference during testing. The receiver has a small screen on its front face that displays mic input levels, receiver output levels, the levels going into your camera, wireless signal strength, and connection status and battery life for the two transmitters. The left side panel houses a USB-C port for charging and a 3.5mm TRS output. A cable is included for connection to cameras. There are two buttons on the lower side panel. One is marked with a mic mute icon and a decibel symbol, and controls mic muting and cycles through three different input gain levels: 0 decibels, -12 decibels, and -24 decibels. Ideally, a dial would be present to make more subtle gain adjustments. You can more finely control the gain in 3 decibels increments in the Rode Central app, but you have to do it through computer-only software that you probably won't have readily while you're in the field. Also, the gain control only affects the 3.5mm output. If you're using the USB-C connection for an output with a tablet or phone, gain can only be adjusted in whatever recording app you're using. The second button, labeled half with the link icon below it, handles pairing and channel selection between channels 1 and 2. Selecting one allows you to mute the other, or you can also connect or disconnect either transmitter. The letters M Street between the two buttons stand for switching between merged and split recording modes, and mean that pressing both buttons at once toggles between those two modes. In merged audio mode, both transmitters will be combined into one output. In split, each transmitter records onto a separate channel, which allows for separation during mixing. The receiver also has a O button on its bottom panel, which controls either the backlight on the screen, or can be set through the app to create markers for moments and recordings. It also serves as the power button when given a long press. The back panel's clip can fasten onto clothing, or slide onto a camera via the cold shoe mount. The two transmitters and single receiver charge via the included USB cables. They have built-in lithium-ion rechargeable batteries and can last roughly 7 hours between charges. Rode ships the mic kit with all the necessary cabling, at least for connecting to cameras, including 3 SC20 USB-C to USB-A cables and a single 3.5mm TRS cable. The system can also connect to tablets and phones, but compatible cables aren't included. Rode sells them separately for $20 to $25 each, along with an optional $39 VXLR Pro adapter for connecting to gear with XLR inputs. The kit also includes 3 furry windshields. These connect to the mix via twist and lock bayonet connections, and a carrying pouch. Altogether, the kit doesn't take up much space at all, making it ideal for shooting on the go. One of the primary accessories for the wireless Go 2, however, isn't physical. Rode Central is a computer-based app, for macOS 10.11 and above or Windows 10 and above, that allows for recording and editing flexibility. Once you have it installed, the receiver's settings can be adjusted and the transmitters can transfer recordings, in both cases, only when connected to your computer. What's missing? An actual manual. Not every button and function here is intuitively understood, and the wordless, diagram-based quick start guide is lacking in depth. There is a wireless go-to learning hub that essentially acts as a manual, but it's online, an easily accessible manual that doesn't require looking something up on your phone while recording, would be more useful. If there's anything that's unwieldy about the wireless Go 2, it's that each piece needs to be connected via USB to your computer to interact with the central app. If you want everything connected at once, that's 3 USB ports this item will be hogging. The only way to access recordings is to connect the transmitter. When the receiver is connected, and after a likely firmware update, you can adjust its settings, like tweaking gain levels in fine gain mode. You can also toggle between the marker function or backlight function for the O button, or adjust between split, merged modes. Connecting a transmitter will allow access to the settings menu. Here, you can enable, disable the backup recording mode, adjust the functions for the O button, enable the record pad, and switch between standard, compressed audio, and broadcast, uncompressed, audio modes. You can also enable or disable the always record mode, which makes the mix start recording the second they're powered up. These recordings are independent of whatever recording you make directly into your camera. It's a great way to ensure you don't miss anything, but also a way to run down the battery or record a bunch of audio unintentionally. Frustratingly, a computer connection is the only way to adjust these multiple crucial settings for both the transmitters and the receiver. Not being able to tweak certain parameters quickly and on the go is one of the system's more limiting factors. It's a little surprising that Rode hasn't developed a simple Android iOS app to adjust these settings via Bluetooth, or even via a cabled connection. Once you've recorded, you can head back to the app to check out your audio, create very simple timeline edits, and export as either WAV or MP3, with 44/148 of a kHz/24-bit PCM/32-bit float selectable options. The transmitters and receiver are paired out of the box, and powering them up one at a time will link them with the receiver. When paired, the blue link LED on the transmitters will be lit. If there's a disconnection, this LED will blink. In default mode, the first transmitter will record to the left channel, and the second will record to the right channel. If you're trying to get a stereo recording, or to achieve separation between the two mics, this is ideal. Both of these scenarios would record in split mode, displaying 2 meters on the receiver screen. This does mean that if you have mics attached to 2 different speakers, you'll hear each in only one ear. In merged mode, which shows only 1 meter instead of 2 individual meters, both mics are recording to both channels. You can also choose to use only one transmitter in merged mode, in which case it will record to both channels on its own. If you opt to record in safety channel mode, a separate channel of audio will be recorded at -20 decibels lower in level, just in case your primary recording peaks out. This mode needs to be activated in the Rode Central app, so you can quickly turn it on or off while out in the field. You can choose to use the wireless Go-To's internal storage for recording, rather than recording directly to camera, phone, or tablet. The transmitter mix can each record up to 40 hours of compressed or 7 hours of uncompressed audio. Once the storage on the transmitters is full, new recordings will start to overwrite the oldest saved files. So if you've got a long session, it's a good idea to back up your older recordings. Of course, it's a good idea to offload your recordings between sessions in general. Eventually, even a short session could end up wiping out older material if you haven't properly archived the audio elsewhere. We recorded multiple takes with the receiver mounted on a Canon EOS RP via the cold shoe clip and the transmitter mix attached to or placed near various sound sources. When gain is properly set, the audio quality is crisp and clear, and ideal for recording interviews. The EOS RP has both a 3.5mm mic input and a headphone jack, so we could monitor levels via the camera with ease. Of course, not every camera has a headphone jack, and the wireless Go-To's receiver lacks a headphone jack itself, so it's possible to be in a recording scenario where you only can see audio levels but not hear them while you're recording. The furry windscreens are more or less a must. They twist and lock into place easily, and without them, the diaphragm is too easily exposed. The windscreens tame wind, plosives, and even clothing rustle sounds, which can come through the bare diaphragm. The look is less discreet, but in most scenarios the sound quality will be improved. Aside from only being able to make some settings adjustments when the devices are connected to a computer, there's little to complain about with the Rode Wireless Go-To. It offers a simple, easy-to-operate wireless solution for anyone wanting to conduct crisp, clear interviews on the go. And while interviews are the most obvious application for the system, with a little creativity, you can also get some fantastic stereo recordings in many other situations. The ability to record both to internal memory and externally to a camera is also a plus. We don't review too many non-USB mics, so we have few clear comparison to offer here. The Sennheiser Memory Mic, often on sale for $100, is probably the most directly comparable device we've tested, but it's a single mic system. That said, it has an easy-to-use app for phones, which the wireless Go-To sorely lacks.